Much like most things in life, real estate has its seasons and its cycles. I'm Patrick Birdsong with BirdHome Real Estate Consultants, and I want to be your real estate consultant for life. So real estate has cycles and it has seasonality. Let's first talk about the seasonality of our market, and then we can talk about the cyclical nature of our market. I think this is an important topic right now because we're in the season that's typically a little slower. It's the fall, it's a little cold outside. You can see I've got the fire going, and the market's just naturally slower. Yes, there are other outside factors that are slowing it down, interest rates, things going on in the stock market, inflation, that sort of thing. But it's also a natural time for it to slow down for us. And believe it or not, going into the holidays, it's actually a time when sales tend to pick up. Most people who are relocating for work tend to wait till kids are not in school. So you do see a lot of people relocate during the holidays. And then you see them typically relocate for spring break and summertime as well. And then you get into the new year and you have the New Year's resolution, folks. I am resolved to get a new home because we've outgrown it, or we're empty nesters and we don't need this big of a home anymore. And so you have a natural jump start to the market. And I think we will experience that despite the cyclical nature of where we are overall. And then we get into spring break. And usually spring break, people go out of town, the market's a little quiet. We have South by Southwest in Austin, so that's always a factor. And then the market takes off. We have the big springtime market. And that, while there's more opportunities for buyers, because a lot more people tend to put their homes on the market, is also when it's a little more competitive. And then we go into the summer, which a lot of people tend to move as well. The two factors that tend to slow us back down in Austin are, one, the heat. When it starts to be 100 degrees every day, people just don't want to look at homes. And then two, beginning of school again in August. And with that, the biggest reason that our market tends to slow down, and maybe I'm exaggerating, but we have football, and football's life in Texas, right? So that's the cyclical nature of our market. And if we're looking at the cyclical or the seasonal nature of our market, and if I'm wearing my investor hat, typically this time of year is when we buy investment properties, because sellers are a little more willing to negotiate. Maybe they came out on the market in the summer and they sat for a little bit, and we can tend to get a deal. Let's talk about, we've talked about seasonality. Let's talk about the cyclical nature of the market. And when I say cyclical, I'm talking about where we tend to have about a 7 to 10 year uptick in our market, where the market's naturally going up, and then we usually have a 1 to 2 year correction. And right now, this shift we're experiencing, even though a lot of people say it's related to interest rates and inflation and that sort of thing, it also is kind of a natural slowdown that we needed. It's a natural correction in our market. The good example is coming from the early 2000s into the Great Recession. From 2000 on until 2007, that 7-year window, it was a great market, kept going up every year. And then we had kind of a natural consequence of it going up too much and had a correction. That's what we're experiencing now. And our correction, cyclically, is actually a little bit overdue. We've had a lot of unnatural stimulants in our market, vis-a-vis mainly just low interest rates that aren't honestly going to be seen again. And that carried our cyclical 7 to 10 year cycle to more like a 10 to 14 year cycle. So, all this being said, talking about seasonality and market cycles, what does this mean for you? Well, the answer is you need to give me a call and let's talk about it. Thanks again for your time. I'm Patrick Birdsong. Talk soon.